Do you understand why your lungs are shaped the way they are? Why they are two and not seven or one? How they filter the air so that your oxygen stays in your body and your carbon dioxide goes back out? You probably don't understand, but you do keep breathing, don't you? Or even if you went through a weight loss journey, you managed to lose your weight, and you initially didn't understand, you had no idea how losing weight actually works, yet you still managed to do it. So then why in the world do you believe that you need to know everything about charisma and social skills in order to be a good socializer and to have the validation of people? Because it's never about that. Everyone assumes that charisma and social skills are all about the tips and tricks and tactics that you need to implement. And to some extent that's true, but that just proves to me that you are an extremely logical person if you believe that as well. And I am like that as well. I went through this a lot, and trust me when I tell you that this approach, this belief, is exactly the thing that's holding you back and exactly the reason why you will never manage to have great social skills. You will never manage to feel good and to get the reactions you desire out of people. And this is a separate point, but if you are this logical person I just described, then I really, really highly suggest you to listen to your feelings more and to your instincts. Now, of course, if your instincts are getting you to stay on TikTok for 8 hours a day and eat junk food and become a junkie, that's not the best thing to do. But you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the normal life, day-to-day decisions that you could take to enhance your quality of life. Because at the end of the day, it's all about feeling good. And when we talk about socializing, it's just the same. I made a previous video about this, but I really believe we have to stretch it and break it down even more. Charismatic people know nothing about charisma. They just are. So let's just think about it. If you want to achieve something, if you want to go through a transformation, let's say, what's the best, the most efficient way to do it? You want to accomplish a certain character trait. Maybe it's confidence or humor or charisma, or maybe even you want to have a great body. You look at the people that have that already and you try to reverse engineer that and do it yourself. So that's exactly what you've done because you're not stupid. You've looked at the people that are charismatic and you are just like, okay, so he said that in that circumstance he got really nice reactions. Okay, noted, I will do it as well. Oh, and that guy said that type of joke in those circumstances. Again, noted, I'll do it myself. But you're missing the essential here. Because those people, their inner world, that's something you can't see, but their inner world is so, so different than your inner world. They have zero overthinking about how they are gonna come out, how people are gonna perceive them and if they will be validated or not. And that's a huge prerequisite because you see social skills and everything that you've tried to do so far, that's just the cherry on the top of the cake. But unless you have the cake in the first place, which is the lack of overthinking, or in other words, being present and not trying to be something but just being who you are, unless you have that in the first place, you will just put the cherry on an empty plate. It looks pretty boring, doesn't it? And so do you. Sorry to say it, but that's the truth. And I know it because I've been there myself. I know it because I've done it for so many years. But to some extent it works. That's exactly why you keep clinging onto this belief that you have to employ all of these social skills. Because you saw that it kind of works, but because it doesn't give you the result you desired, you ended up drawing the conclusion that it's all your fault and you're not good enough at this and you have to work even harder and gain more social skills. But it's not about that. It's about being yourself, not having any constraints. If you try to force it and put so much effort and energy into being charismatic, being the way you want to be socially, it will just make you less charismatic. When you put so much effort into this, you just become extremely self conscious. And something that's even worse than that, you are needy. When you are needy, it leaks through every micro particle and atom of your body. There's absolutely no faking it. You just can't do anything about it. You either are who you are, or people notice that you are not who you say you are. And that's so bad because people feel betrayed. Who wants someone that's fake around them? Who wants someone that's just over the head trying to be cool all the time and to be validated? People don't like having fake people around them, and you don't like having fake people around you either. So why do you think that if you try to scam people into, oh, buy me, right? Buy my presence, buy my friendship because I'm so cool, but you're actually not. Why do you think that they will want to buy this from you, to buy your friendship per se? They won't. They can spot your insecurity, they can spot your act, and they don't want that around them. Even if you please them and you go ahead and are a good listener and compliment them on their new clothes and fragrances and hairstyle, it's not gonna do you any good. As I said, that's just the cherry on the top. And you don't want to sell the cherry without the cake. So charisma, confidence, social skills, all of these things that you desire, they come from letting go, not from controlling. And you have to trust yourself completely that you are who you say you are. And unless you do that, and look, even if you master the social skills you see online to perfection, you end up having this set of behaviors that you have to employ all the time. This is your set of behaviors, and you're able to step into that all the time, right? But you are aware that this is not the real you. This is just a set of tips and tricks that get you the results you desire, or kind of get you the results you desire. So you are subconsciously and even consciously aware that that's not the real you. You are not who you say you are. So you start being insecure. And when you're threatened that people might figure that out as well, you start being even more insecure and anxious and panicked, and you end up being reserved, and you start showing to the world a version of you that's very, very different to the one you preached and to the one you tried to sell. Because you're not this charismatic person anymore. You're just an introvert, and you're shy, and you just want to go home and start being alone because that's where everything is safe. So you see that there is no way you can get what you want by implementing the step-by-step approach and still being an overthinker that craves validation. The only way is to let go and to be who you want to be, who you feel like being, honestly. You probably don't like the sound of it, but you just have to be who you feel like being. Now, of course, if you're a jerk, that's not gonna be very good. After you manage to be who you want to be and who you feel like being, more often than not, that's when it's time for the social skills. Not now. The social skills are not for you now. The social skills are for the version of you that's able to be congruent in themselves and to be calm and relaxed socially.